Peace and blessings. Once again, we have the privilege of being right back here at the noonday hour to pause and put forth some praise and petition to the God we serve. And so, as always, I bring you greetings on behalf of the president of the National Alumni Association, that being Mr. J.R. Redmond, as well as the president of the university, Dr. Gerald Briggs. And of course, my name is Reverend Anthony J. Brownlow, and I am the national chaplain for the Alumni Association. Well, folks, of course, this week we have an interesting topic that I'm sure will speak to your spirit. And the particular theme is I'm in the waiting room. Again, I'm in the waiting room. Jonah, the first chapter and the 17th verse. And the text reads as follows. Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. And now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Again, I'm in the waiting room. Jonah, the first chapter, the 17th verse. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading, the hearing, and doers of God's rich and profound word. Well, folks, it is always an interesting sort of thing to consider when you wrestle with this very familiar text, and that being Jonah, the first chapter, the 17th verse. I'm sure I don't know too many people that if you had some degree of affiliation with the church space, this text resonates with you. Well, folks, it is this moment where Jonah finds himself situated in the belly of a fish. Well, but folks, if you have any context or you recall any context, God had come to Jonah and asked Jonah to go in one direction to Nineveh, and Jonah made the executive decision to go in another direction. And so here Jonah finds himself after the seas had been, created in a topsy-turvy way to the point that he finds himself being thrown overboard, making the request to be thrown overboard. And of course, the fish swallows him. Well, folks, here it is, dark, stationary, mysterious, and all Jonah can do is sit there for 3 days, right? And I'm sure Jonah had questions, but Jonah reflected, thinking, I probably should have just gone in the direction that God suggested that I, go. I probably need to do some things a little bit differently than I have been doing in the past, right? I'm sure he had all kinds of questions, wondering what the outcome was going to be, because here he finds himself in the belly of a fish. Well, folks, I like to suggest that this particular situation can be compared, or compared, or a parallel to entering a waiting room. In fact, I'd say if you've ever gone to your doctor, you have to go, and of course your appointment may be at 11, but there are some instances that you could be on time, you could check in on time, but you got to sit there and wait. And I don't know if you're like me, but there have been some moments where I've had to wait. And I've actually had the privilege of just looking around that space. And before you know it, an anxiety comes up in me because I am looking at my surroundings, and there tends to be on some occasion some really sick people in that space. And I'm wondering what's going on with them. And then I start wondering if something's going on with me. And then I start asking myself, have I been doing all the things I was supposed to do since the last time I visited my doctor. But you have to be patient in the waiting space, right? Uh, and you have to focus on the fact that you're going to be on the other side of the door at some point too. And once you go to the other side of the door, that means out of the waiting room in the back with your physician, you're going to get some affirming information, right? That your blood pressure is good and all the signs are good. And hey, your blood work is good. However, you got to wait before you get there. And I'd like to suggest and say in this moment, don't know what season you're in at this hour, but you find yourself in the waiting room, waiting for God to speak about your circumstance, waiting to see if God is going to afford you some grace because of a decision you made that you now find yourself in a predicament that is taxing to your spirit. But I want to say in this moment, hey, one of the benefits or what I would like to remind you of at this moment is, hey, you're still in the game. God is still merciful. God is still willing to offer grace to the best of us. And so in turn, hold on to that in the midst of sitting in the waiting room. And also be mindful that God is on the other side of your waiting room. Yes, it may feel like you're in the belly of a whale / fish, right? Because it may feel like it's dark, it's very mysterious, but just know that God is the ultimate light that can pierce into your dark situation and remove all your apprehensions once the door comes open, once he invites you to remove yourself from the waiting room, to affirm that everything's going to be all right. Well, folks, that's all I have for you in this moment in time. I want to pause right now and create some space for us to have a word of prayer. So let us still our hearts for a moment or word of prayer at this moment in time. God, we bless you for how you've shown up in our situations when we felt like we were in the waiting room, where we looked around whatever scenario or situation we found ourselves in. We had questions, we had anxiety, we had apprehensions, and Lord, it was dark. And so, God, here we are, thankful that even in the waiting room, your divine presence is there as well. And so instead of us, God, being overrun, overwhelmed, worn out by the anxiety, the apprehensions, and the questions that keep bubbling up in our spirits, Lord, we're going to recognize, lean in, hold on to the fact that, hey, you are there with us as well. And so, God, don't know all the seasons that someone or many folk are going through on this day, in this month, during 2025. But I'm well aware, God, that you have them on your itinerary. And Lord, not only do you have them on your itinerary, Lord, you're taking actions towards their situation. And so, God, that's what we want to put in front of them on this occasion, that, hey, all may not be well, but what you can do is make it well. There may be concerns around their conditions, health, financial, et cetera, et cetera. But God, you can open up your divine book, pull out a formula that will transform whatever variables that we have in our lives and renew our spirits. And so, God, that's why we have come today, recognizing that if we get before the throne, you can be a difference maker in our situation. God, it has been good to be right here with you in the midst of this moment. And we bless you as we prepare to bring this prayer to a close. But in the interim, God, we lift up the administration at MVSU. We lift up the administration regarding the National Alumni Association. God, we ask that you be with the students and all of those individuals who are on campus. God, the times are very tumultuous. And so, Lord, would you consistently reach out your hand and grab our right hand and pull us through this moment. Remind us, Lord, that you've done it before and you'll do it again. And that, Lord, that we're so special and sacred that you'll come see about us. Well, folks, it's been a blessing to be right here, and we lift up these words of praise and petition before the God we love and serve. Amen. Well, folks, it has been a blessing to be right here with you. We look forward to seeing you right back here, same place, same time next week. But be mindful to keep asking, to keep seeking, to keep knocking. The God that we serve is not in the business of having a deaf ear to your concerns. Know that on this day, that you can put your hand in God's hand and be okay. Be blessed.